Hello and welcome to the series of tutorials in Flash and ActionScript 3. In this session, we emulate the carrom striker and coin behavior using the ActionScript. We use an inbuilt function hitTestObject to determine a strike as opposed to the previous version where we use X and Y positions to find out the hit. So to get started, we again start off with an Action3 script. Now I will make a striker. Okay, so this may be my striker. I'll again convert it into a symbol using F8. The name can be this, and I can then say export for ActionScript because we need to use this in the ActionScript. This is just saying that a class definition is not found and it will automatically create a class definition for it. The instance name for this I can name as striker. Now once this is done, I have it in the library. I'll get another one, another instance, and I can name this instance as a coin. I can change the appearance of these. I can maybe apply some color effects. So I can change this one to this can be actually reddish, and the other one I can now maybe change it to a little blue. Now once this is done, I can also apply filters. I'll just apply a bevel filter so that it appears to be like a carrom striker and a carrom coin. And you can play around with the graphics of it. So right now I have two instances of one symbol. I've called one instance the name as is striker, the other is a coin. Now what I want is, I want first to make the striker to be clickable, that is draggable. So for that I'll again insert another row of ActionScript, add action, and I will use the previous dragging and stop dragging functions to make this striker clickable and draggable. So striker, just replace the etil used in the previous lectures with striker. So this should basically make this clickable. So now what I want is that this, when it hits this, it should do something. So first I'll just arrange this and bring to front. Control enter, and yes, it is now in front. Now to be able to determine the hit part, so I'll just add more functions to it. Now there's something called, I just want to check when the coin is getting hit, so I'll call the function check hit. So the function check hit is again an event of mouse event. It returns nothing, and within this function I will see if my striker is hitting the coin. So how do I check that? There's an inbuilt function called hit test object, and it has to hit the coin. Remember, the instances were named as striker and coin, so it has to check whether the striker is now hitting the coin, and if this is happening, then I will do a series of commands. First I will just let it output a value hit. This trace is just like telling the script to trace out this output. Whatever I put in the quotations, that will be output on the output screen. So I just want to check this. Now another thing, I want to add the event listener. So who's going to listen? The striker is going to listen to the events. So striker dot add event listener, and it's going to be a mouse event. And when is it going to occur? It is occurring whenever the mouse is released. So the mouse up, when the button is up, that is, it is released, I want the check hit function to be executed. So let's see if it is working. So you see that a hit is produced here. Nothing is happening whenever the mouse is released. Yes, whenever I release the mouse near this, a hit is occurring. So this is working fine. Now I want that if the striker is hitting the coin should move to a particular location. So I can say maybe coin dot x is equal to 250, coin dot y is equal to 250. I can give the parameters of the x and y positions of the coin, and that should change. Yes, so it's changing. Now I want something more interesting. I want the coin to go to a arbitrary location. So I will create variables. I'll just create a variable for the maximum x position, max x, and it's going to be an unsigned int uint, and the value can be set as 400. This would depend on the screen size. So similarly, I'll create a max position of y. This is again a variable, unsigned integer, and the maximum position can be 300. Similarly, I will create two more variables. I can just maybe copy these and paste them, and I'll say min x, it's going to be a value of 20, and min y with the position again 20. So these can be any arbitrary values. Now I will say that the coin dot x position should be equal to, I'll use an inbuilt function from the math library called the ceiling, which gives the seal of that particular number which is inside this. I'll just explain these functions. This is something called a random, which generates a random value. So I'll multiply this with max x minus max, min x, and then add min x. So I'll just explain this function. What we are doing is, we are first generating a random number. So this math.random function generates a number between 0 and 1. So once the number is generated, we have multiplied it with a scaling factor of max x minus min x. So that is into 380 effectively. So this number is multiplied, and then a minimum value is added to it, which is again 20. So once this is generated, first we are generating this, and yes, math seal. We are using the math seal to be able to take the ceiling value of this. So suppose I have 4.5, so suppose 4.6, the value which we get after math seal would be 5. So it is taking the ceiling value of a number, because this number can be an it need not be a whole number, it can be a fractional number. So we want the fraction part to be removed, so that is why we are using the mathseal function, because fractions, your positions cannot be in fractions, they need to be whole numbers. Similarly, we'll say math.ceil, again use math.random, multiply it with the scaling function max y minus min y, and then add the value min y. So hopefully this is okay. Now just let's test this. So I go to, yes, it's going to an arbitrary position. So this is almost like the emulation of a striker. So I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.